联盟分部的大野姐姐。
大家好，我是 EDG 合创汽车英雄联盟分部的俊佳。
大家好，我是 EDG 合创汽车英雄联盟分部的 Scott。
大家好，我是 EDG 合创汽车英雄联盟分部的 Viper。
大家好，我是 EDG 合创汽车英雄联盟分部的天野。
新 Racing Carnival 2022由新加坡 Edge MediaTek 承办，
联动中新两国新加坡赛车迷和潮流达人齐聚在新加坡地标滨海湾金沙，
与中国赛车迷云端相会，共享速度与激情。
以赛车电竞为媒，搭建中新两国跨越时空的桥梁。
EDG 在此预祝新 Racing Carnival
2022活动取得圆满成功。
加入金沙增长时尚，发掘无限奖励和礼遇，引领时尚生活，尽享心之所好。每次消费均可及时赚取奖励，享有专属会员礼遇，获取最好的至尊体验。随心所欲享受购物、餐饮和娱乐， 并获享金沙尊赏时尚提供的最佳礼遇。
大家好，我是 EDG 合创汽车英雄联盟分部的布兰朵。
大家好，我是 EDG 合创汽车英雄联盟分部的大野姐姐。
大家好，我是 EDG 合创汽车英雄联盟分部的俊佳。
大家好，我是 EDG 合创汽车英雄联盟分部的 Scott。
大家好，我是 EDG 合创汽车英雄联盟分部的 Wifer。
大家好，我是 EDG 合创汽车英雄联盟分部的天野。
新 Racing Carnival 2022由新加坡 H MeterTech 承办，
联动中新两国新加坡赛车迷和潮流达人齐聚在新加坡地标滨海湾金沙，
与中国赛车迷云端相会，共享速度与激情。
以赛车电竞为媒，搭建中新两国跨越时空的桥梁。
EDG 在此预祝新 Racing Carnival
2022活动取得圆满成功。
Ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome. It's great to see you all here. I just want to let you know we will be getting underway in about 20 minutes. So do all your mingling. There's great food to be eaten later on. There's some drink as well. 20 minutes we'll be getting going. So find your seat. Make sure you have a great view for the big show today.
加入金沙增长时尚，发掘无限奖励和礼遇，引领时尚生活，尽享心之所好。每次消费均可及时赚取奖励，享有专属会员礼遇，获取最好的至尊体验。随心所欲享受购物、餐饮和娱乐，并获享金沙尊享时尚提供的最佳礼遇。
大家好，我是 EDG 合创汽车英雄联盟分部的白总。
大家好，我是 EDG 合创汽车英雄联盟分部的大野姐姐。
大家好，我是 EDG 合创汽车英雄联盟分部的俊佳。
大家好，我是 EDG 合创汽车英雄联盟分部的 Scout。
大家好，我是 EDG 合创汽车英雄联盟分部的 Y 粉。
大家好，我是 EDG 合创汽车英雄联盟分部的天野。
新 Racing Carnival 2022由新加坡 H-Meter Tech 承办，
联动中新两国新加坡赛车迷和潮流达人齐聚在新加坡地标滨海湾金沙，
与中国赛车迷云端相会，共享速度与激情。
以赛车电竞为媒，搭建中新两国跨越时空的桥梁。
EDG 在此预祝 Sim Racing Carnival
2022活动取得圆满成功。
加入金沙增长时尚，发掘无限奖励和礼遇，引领时尚生活，尽享心之所好。每次消费均可及时赚取奖励，享有专属会员礼遇，获取最好的至尊体验。随心所欲享受购物、餐饮和娱乐，并获享金沙尊享时尚提供的最佳礼遇。 加入金沙增长时尚，发掘无限奖励和礼遇，引领时尚生活，尽享心之所好。每次消费均可及时赚取奖励，享有专属会员礼遇，获取最好的至尊体验。随心所欲享受购物、餐饮和娱乐，并获享金沙增享时尚提供的最佳礼遇。
大家好，我是 EDG 合创汽车英雄联盟分部的 Brando。
大家好，我是 EDG 合创汽车英雄联盟分部的大野姐姐。
大家好，我是 EDG 合创汽车英雄联盟分部的俊佳。
大家好，我是 EDG 合创汽车英雄联盟分部的 Scout。
大家好，我是 EDG 合创汽车英雄联盟分部的 Viper。
大家好，我是 EDG 合创汽车英雄联盟分部的天野。
Sim Racing Carnival 2022由新加坡 H Meter Tech 承办，
联动中新两国新加坡赛车迷和潮流达人齐聚在新加坡地标滨海湾金沙，
与中国赛车迷云端相会，共享速度与激情。
以赛车电竞为媒，搭建中新两国跨越时空的桥梁。
EDG 在此预祝 Sim Racing Carnival
2022活动取得圆满成功。
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. A very good evening. It's so good to have you with us. Welcome to the Sim Racing Carnival 2022. My name is Steve. I am your co-host. I'll also be doing some commentary for you during the course of this evening. And alongside me is Cheryl. Good to see you, Cheryl.
All right， 大家晚上好，欢迎现场来宾，以及我们线上关注我们视频的朋友们，大家好，我名字叫 Cheryl， 也会是您今晚的司仪。
This is, Cheryl, the very first time that Sim Racing Carnival has taken place in Singapore. So it is so great to be at this wonderful, spacious venue here at the Sands Convention and Exhibition Centre. And so great that you've joined us here live. If you're not here with us, don't worry. I know plenty of you are joining us on live streams via YouTube, via Weibo, via Douyu. English commentary will be provided by myself and former Formula One racing driver from Malaysia, my good friend and outstanding talent, the most handsome man I've ever known, Alex Young. So I can't wait to be joined by Alex and get stuck into some great racing.
Now I'm very excited as well. 没错，您可以在微博、斗鱼、虎牙、哔哩哔哩等平台搜索关键词“赛车电竞嘉年华2022”来观看我们的直播内容，还有我们专业赛车媒体人核心将会全程为您来带中文解说。OK， 再加上呢，这是我们首届中新国际赛车电竞嘉年华与新加坡中国文化中心主办，再加上 Edge Media Tech 与 SCOGA 联合承办，新加坡滨海湾金沙大力支持，并得到新加坡旅游局官方品牌 GPSS 2022，也是 Grand Prix Singapore Season 2022认证的赛事。
This Sino Singapore International Sim Racing Carnival 2022 is organized by the Singapore Chinese Cultural Center, co-hosted by Edge MediaTek and SCOGA, supported by Marina Bay Sands, Singapore, and certified by the SSTB under the official brand GPSS Grand Prix Singapore Season 2022.
That's such an amazing sponsor lineup that we have here today. 同时，我们想要感谢 Avalanche、ANT Capital、Hashkey Capital 对本次活动的大力支持。
Yeah, we'd very much like to thank Avalanche Asia, ANT Capital, and Hashkey Capital for their wonderful, enduring support for this event.
好的，我们现在首先我们邀请我们 Head of Avalanche Asia Wilson 上台给我们致辞。Wilson, please.
Hello, Web3. It's happy to be here. Avalanche is a layer one. Probably some of you don't know, but what is layer one? Layer one is the fundamental ground you need to build your future Web3 application. So we're your first step into Web3. And because I only have 5 minutes, so firstly, I thank you for all of you coming. Thank you for all the support everyone give. The opportunity what we see now, why we want to host this event together with everyone, is because we see the opportunity of Web 2.5, where the converge of Web 2 is coming with Web 3. But how can we help? Maybe you feel difficult how to reach out to Web 3, and where we are trying to help our Web 2 guys onboarding into Web 3. So here we come, and we are the most fastest consensus. How do you understand consensus? Consensus is just like your engine for the car. It's like how you raced it. It's just like the chips in the handful in the computer where it drives it. So now the opportunity for you to run into Web3 is not just running. You have to race into Web3. And every moment is precious. So this is where we bring to the ecosystem to you, for you to join our ecosystem in Avalanche. And in the next era, we will see the opportunity of Web3 adoption. And this era of adoption gonna happen in the next 12, 18 months. So welcome, guys. If you are a builder, don't worry about if you know Web3 or not. If you're a builder, if you know how to attract traffic, if you know how to manage a good product, if you have a great team, come to us. We will help you to onboard into Web3. Okay, we are Avalanche here. Too happy to have you, all of you here, to enjoy your night and enjoy 2049 and enjoy F1. Thank you. I'm Wilson.
Thank you so much, Wilson. Now, next up, 我们邀请Jasmine, co-founder of ANT Capital, 上台给我们致辞. Let's put our hands together and welcome Jasmine, from co-founder of ANT Capital, to say some words.
Hey guys, really happy to be here. I was a bit earlier here, and I saw like there are videos actually rotating by like the other two sponsors, and I was like worried like there's nothing about us, but I swear we are very fun like venture capital. So like fun people here. We have actually a few like colleagues here. You should come to see us, and then like everyone with like ANT Capital should come to say hi. Yeah, I just want to share a bit of like the the kind of story we have is like racing, because I guess everyone in their like younger time, they have a dream. And my dream was like to become like an archaeologist, because it's like a fun, it's a lot of curiosity, and you want to like really discover a lot of things. And it's exciting, of course. And then many of my friends also want to be a racer. And then like it's just a very exciting kind of like stuff. And then it's also like one of my favorite movies is like Fast and Furious. So I guess it's quite like relevant with like, you know, what we do like investments, because we want to invest in the kind of founders that is fearless, that are determined, just a similar kind of character as the racers. So yeah, I wouldn't spend so much time of yours, and I hope everyone will enjoy your time here. And then yeah, come to say hi to us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jasmine. Now next up, 邀请小小 Investment Director Hashkey Capital 上台给我们致辞. Let's put our hands together, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome Xiao Xiao, Investment Director of Hashkey Capital, to say some words.
Well, hello, good night, everyone. Well, this is Xiao from Hashkey Capital, and Hashkey Capital is a Web3 and blockchain VC. I'm not sure if you understand what is Web3, but I can give you a very brief explanation. It's all about decentralization. So you can imagine that in Web3 world, you can actually control your own identity and your own data. And also for some applications like games, you can actually control the, you can own the gaming asset by yourself. And if you want to trade or want to give it away to somebody else, it's always possible. And for blockchain games, it will never be like shut down like in Web2 or centralized world. So, Hashkey, come back to Hashkey Capital. So we are on Hong Kong and Singapore-based blockchain VC, and we are actually one of the biggest and longest-standing fund here. So our investment into blockchain and crypto space dates back to 2015. So after that, since then we got a lot of great deals in layer 1, like including Avalanche. And apart from that, during the previous bull markets, we've seen a lot of application rising. And also we see a very big convergence between like traditional world as well as tokenomics or Web3 world, especially in esports and blockchain gaming sector. Well, for the next cycle, we would it's very likely to see more use cases like blockchain gaming or social or like social token. So very happy to see a lot of celebrities here or a lot of like Web3 builders here. And I think it's a very exciting event, and hope everyone enjoyed the food and enjoyed the chatting. And if someone are interested in Web3, happy to have more like further discussion with you guys. All right, thank you.
Thank you so much, Xiao Xiao. Thank you.
Xiao Xiao, Jasmine, and Wilson, thank you very much indeed.
Yeah,
how come they're so cool? Everyone's dressed so coolly and we're all formal and everything.
Yeah, I really love like the hype outfit, especially from Wilson earlier with the Avalanche t-shirt and the shorts. I love it.
Maybe we should do a costume change, I don't know.
Maybe I should work for Avalanche.
We'll think about yeah, maybe that's the thing. So the format today is going to be great. We're going to have 16 racers. 8 of them are in Beijing. 8 of them are here in Singapore, and they'll all be lined up in front of the stage here and driving their hearts out, those guys that are based in Singapore. We'll check in with those guys that are in Beijing in a moment. We're going to have 15 minutes of qualifying. So the idea there is to try and key in the fastest lap, see who gets to the front of the grid for the big start. We'll take a little break, let them get their breath back, and then the race will be 45 minutes, and whoever crosses the line after the checkered flag has been dropped after that 45-minute mark will take the top prizes. And there's a lot of money at stake here, Cheryl. 3,000 Singapore dollars for the winner, the runner-up gets 2,000, and even if you finish third, a place on the podium, you still get a grand.
哇哇喂！没错，接下来我们要介绍一下今晚的重头戏啊，我们赛车电竞的环节。今天我们将会有16名选手同场竞技，其中的那个设置排位赛将会是15分钟。 中间呢，我们会有一个休息的部分，就是8分钟，再加上我们的决赛长于45分钟，最终我们的决局，我们的奖金就会是非常诱人的一个奖金。刚才 Steve 所说到，我们的奖金亚军是1000块。 还有我们的第2位就是2000块新币，还有我们的头奖当然就是3000块的一个大奖，非常非常诱人。Steve has no idea what I'm talking about. He's
Sounds good though.
Nodding. Yeah, I was just saying the grand prizes. Now all of our players are already lined up, already on the side, waiting for us. Are you guys ready about the prize? Our players on the side. Are you guys ready?
See if they can hear you in Beijing. Make some noise. Come on.
Yeah, let's cheer for the $3,000. Let's make it work right here in Singapore.
Are our drivers in Beijing ready for us to check in with them?
All right.
Cool, are we ready? We can see them? Okay, let's go to Beijing now and check in with our 8 drivers there.
好的，今天除了我们在场的8位车手，我们还有北京分会场8位选手已经摸奖查权了。接下来我们连线北京分会场 Muga。Hello Muga， 跟我们解说一下北京那里的情况吧。
Up on the big screen.
Up on the big screen. What are we checking out on? Oh wow! Is
Some
that a
decent-looking
Rolls
cars.
Royce?
Oh.
Hello， 大家好，欢迎大家收看 Racing Carnival 2022年北京现场，我是主持人穆卡，现在由我来为大家介绍北京现场参赛的队员。我们队员呢有 E2C 战队的专业车手，除此之外呢还有我们汽车领域的达人以及资深的 F1 车迷。那么现在由我一一为大家介绍。那么第一位出场的呢就是 E2C 战队的刘汉彤，刘汉彤。 过来给大家简单的介绍一下你自己吧。
好的 ，Hello， 大家好，我是来自 E2C 电竞车队刘汉彤，非常荣幸能够参加今天的中新电竞嘉年华，希望能给大家带来一场精彩的比赛，谢谢。
看来还是有点腼腆，但是我相信你的实力能战胜一切。那好吧，你下去准备吧。那么接下来这位车手就非常厉害了，他的名字听着就非常霸气，尹正，来尹正。 来，简单的介绍一下你自己吧。
大家好，我是来自 E2C 车队的尹正。
没有多余的了吗？
也是希望就是我们中国的车手以及新加坡的车手大家都可以安全的完赛，然后为大家奉献一场精彩的比赛。
那么你去休息吧。大家都知道，尹正也是一个非常出色的车手，在之前的电竞比赛中也多次夺得佳绩。那么下面一位车手也非常厉害了，也是 E2C 车队的王问普。来，王问普，简单的介绍一下你自己吧。
好的。Greetings Singapore， 晚上好新加坡，我是来自 E2C Sim Racing 车队的王问普，同时我也是我们车队的工程师。 希望大家今天晚上的比赛，无论是中国车手还是新加坡车手，都能取得自己理想的成绩吧。
技术大神，那么好好准备比赛，希望今天晚上能取得更好的成绩。那么接下来的车手就是我曾经的电竞大神，给我教过很多的课，也就是我们的王肖汉，他在我们中国的电竞圈也是非常出名。来，简单的介绍一下自己吧。
Hello Singapore， 我是 ERC 车队的王肖汉，希望能够带给各位一场精彩的比赛。
肖汉有点紧张啊，但是没有关系，我相信他在赛道上绝对不是这个状态。希望你今天晚上能取得佳绩。那么接下来呢，就是我们 E2C 车队的王鼎勋，来，徐鼎勋，不好意思。
Hello， 大家好，我是 E2C 车队的clown徐鼎勋。
不好意思，把你名字说错了，是不是就不想自我介绍了？多 介绍自己2句吗？
那我也是现在 EMT 青训车队的队长啊，也在 E2C 的旗下啊。那希望今天晚上能有一个相对良好的表现吧。
希望帅气的你今天晚上能有帅气的表现，祝福你。那么接下来的这个车手呢，就是我们 F1 车迷非常熟悉的车手了，就是我们资深的F1 车迷邱超老师，也是我非常好的朋友。来，邱超老师，简单介绍一下自己吧。
Hello everyone， 我是邱超啊。以前当中都是参加一些 F1 的这个比赛的解说，但今天亲身来经历一下电竞的这个比赛，感受一下速度与激情，真的非常期待。
哇，邱超老师的这声音一出来，很多人都觉得非常熟悉了，但是感觉你隐隐有点紧张。不过不要紧张啊，今天晚上一定能取得非常好的成绩的。那么下去准备吧。那么接下来也是我的同行啊，就是木山博南老师，但是他和我不太一样，他除了能评车，他也能拍照，而且电竞比赛也非常的专业。
不敢当。大家好，我叫木山博南，一位汽车博主，日常的工作是车评人。这次呢是以 F1 发烧粉丝的身份来参加比赛，非常感谢 E2C 给这个机会，第一次参赛，然后希望跟大家一起玩好、开心，然后拥有非常完美的一晚上。
加油加油！那么接下来就是我们车队中最年轻的选手了，王岳恒。来，王岳恒，听说你还是一个大学生是吗？那么简单介绍一下自己吧。
Hello， 大家好，我是来自北京 E2C 的王岳恒，现在还是一名学生我希望在这场比赛中能跟大家学到更多，然后也希望为各位观众能带来一个更好的那个观赛体验。
那么也希望你未来能为中国的赛车事业以及汽车事业发光发热。那么谢谢你，去准备吧。那么接下来我们还要邀请我们的工程师来解答我们车迷的一个问题。那么有请我们的王问普。
大家好，又是我。
问普老师也是非常专业。那么我想问你一个问题，就是我们传统的赛道和街道赛本身就不一样嘛？如果你在电竞中，这两者会有怎样差别呢？
首先，模拟器对于真车来说，它的视野由于不能像真车一样，你的头可以左右转动，所以的话，你的目光只能盯着屏幕看，这样你的视野相较于真车来说是受限的。所以比起在真车情况下，你的速度感和那个赛道距离感都会显得更窄。但模拟器有一个好处，你能通过大量的练习，不用担心车损啊、胎耗什么之类的，可以做大量的时间练习，借此来提升你的圈速稳定性的提高。同时，我们知道现在很多的F1 车队也是在使用模拟器来帮助他们做研发这种东西。这样子一来，随着时间推进，模拟软件的更新换代以及它的不断的精确化，这样带来的模拟器和真车之间结合，已经是你中有我，我中有你了。所以，作为一个普通车迷能接触到这个最亲民的一个东西吧。我们希望更多的真车车队能来去使用模拟器，了解到更多的模拟器爱好者。模拟器爱好者也能通过这个方式接触到真车的车队，圆他们一个赛车的梦想。这也是我们车队的宗旨和理念。
说得非常棒啊！我觉得他说的我都感觉有种醍醐灌顶的感觉，而且今天我也看到了现场比赛的所有的车手们提前都练了很多遍。那么在这里我也祝北京现场的所有的车手能取得非常好的成绩，把奖金都领回家。祝你们今天一切顺利，安全完赛。那么切回到新加坡现场来看一下新加坡的车手们吧。
好的，谢谢姆卡，真的好羡慕哦，姆卡，你从一个劳斯莱斯古斯特闪亮登场，我们也想要啊。All right， 刚才所说到，看起来我们北京选手斗志汹涌啊，可是我想告诉你哦，姆卡，我们新加坡选手也是不可小觑的，让我们看一下我们新加坡的选手，请他们上台吧。
He had a lot to say for himself, that last driver, didn't he? They look like a pretty formidable bunch. How will they cope against our Singapore drivers? Away to the left of the stage as you look at it. Let's get Cheryl to welcome our first 4 celebrity drivers.
Yes, our celebrity drivers, introducing Singaporean influencer and talent, Joanna Lim.
Big round of applause for Joanna.
Girl. She's our only female representative. Right here, why? I don't know, but here's Joanna. And next up, we have Singaporean actor Jasper Lai. Put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen. Let's support
Big
Team
round of
Singapore.
applause for these ladies and gentlemen. Come on, guys.
Yes, and next up we have gaming video creator and full-time content creator, Panda TV. Nice. Panda, I'm so sorry we didn't get the memo for you. So you gotta wear all like hype. All right, so this is gonna work for now. And next up we have TikTok toy car giant Beyond Alvarez.
All right, all tremendously talented, all tremendously good looking. Look forward to speaking to them. We'll get a word from them in a little while, but let me now welcome our professional drivers to the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, 2021 Formula Renault Asia Racing Winter Series runner-up, it's Dylan Tan. Welcome, Dylan. In 2019, we saw a Honda Day Slim Challenge winner in the shape of Darren Lim. And a member of last year's team champions in the E1 Championship Season 1, Jason Tay, everybody. Last but certainly not least, the E1 Championship Season 2 runner-up, ladies and gentlemen, Josh Perwin. All right, let's get a word from all. We've got time to have a word with all 8 of our drivers. Do you want to have a word with the celebrity drivers first?
Our celebrity drivers?
Yeah.
All right, sure. Okay, Joanna, sorry to put you in the spot. Yeah, only female driver. What do you have to say? Or, do you think that there should be more female drivers right here in the sim racing scene?
Yeah, definitely. I feel there should be more. But I will try my best. I'm not the best, but I hope I don't crash, but I will safely, drive through.
Fantastic. All right, so next time I'm just going to ask a quick question from Jaspers. Did you try the simulation earlier? What do you think? Do you have confidence they're going to win that $3,000 back home to Singapore?
All I have to say is that I'm so thankful that's a simulator and not the real one. Yeah, I haven't bought insurance yet, but thank God this is a simulator. But I will do my best. Let's go! Woo!
All right, so maybe we're going to interview your side, Steve, for our 2 professional players first.
Let's have a word with Dylan first. Dylan is our youngest driver. How old are you, Dylan?
13.
13 years old, ladies and gentlemen. How about a round of applause just for getting up here on this stage and competing with all these amazing guys? Are you intimidated or are you confident? How are you feeling?
I don't know.
Don't know. Honestly, you look dead cool. You look nerveless, no nerves at all. I'm far more nervous than you are. All the very best for today, okay? Good
Honestly,
luck to Dylan.
Steve,
Darren, first place in the Honda Day Slim Challenge back in 2019. Can you bring that form to today's race, do you think?
I'm not too sure. So, I will try. I'm not used to this track. I'm actually today is probably I think only my second time going through this track, Singapore Grand Prix.
This track has got lots of right-hand, 90-degree turns. I mean, it's not a quick track. Do you like this kind of track, or do you like the big sweeping curves?
I prefer the curves. Yeah, sweeping curves is my favorite.
All right. We look forward to seeing you drive them.
All
Some
right.
more celebrities?
So next up, I'm going to interview Panda TV. Hi, Panda. Do I call you Panda? Panda. All right, so is this your first time doing sim e-racing, and what are your thoughts?
Absolute first time doing sim racing. Thoughts is I'm pretty bad, but there's free food, so I'm all right with it. So.
The wise man has spoken, motivated by free food. Who doesn't? So next up, I'm going to ask TikTok toy car giant Beyond Alvarez. Now, Beyond, tell me, how is this different from the usual toy cars that you deal with?
So for toy cars, we're dealing with cars that you can hold in your hand. Now this is a simulation of a real car, a real deal. So it's way bigger and way more advanced. So yeah, but I'll try my best.
All right, so we have our word from our Singapore talent team that they will do the very best to clinch that $3,000 and bring it back home. All right, over to you, Steve.
Great stuff, guys. Jason, all these celebrities have not got nearly as much experience doing this as you have. What are the kind of difficulties they're going to face? Because I was told that even driving straight for 100 meters is pretty difficult.
They are going to crash a lot.
You'll see a lot of cars flipping, crashing into each other, but that's part of it. Racing has never been easy. Like we all started crashing and restarting races as well when we were young. So if this is their first time, just have fun, but don't crash into us. Just take it easy, drive slow. You can't run from physics. So brake for corners. When you see a car ahead of you, don't crash into them. Just have fun and stay safe. Yeah.
I'm sorry to tell you that I think Panda's already got his eye on you. If he's going to crash into anyone, it might be crashing into you.
He's just like, I don't want to be collateral damage, guys. I just want to win my race.
One of the challenges, Josh, is going to be, to stay out of their way, isn't it? I mean, you've got big fights with the pro guys, both here and in Beijing. But if there's going to be 8 drivers who, are not nearly as experienced as you, it's going to be a challenge to stay out of their way, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess in a way it's a bit like a multi-class racing, like endurance racing sort of thing. But as long as they take out the people ahead of me, I don't really mind.
And what do you think about the track here in Singapore? I know it's lovely to watch, but I know it's quite tough for drivers. I mean, the real drivers in the heat, it's tough because of the 90-degree turns and what have you. As a sim driver, what's the feeling?
I actually really enjoy this track. I've been driving on this track for years. I absolutely love it. It is a massive challenge, and especially it is the longest race on the Formula One calendar, and it's going to be a long race as well today, so it's going to be good fun, and hopefully we don't chuck it in the wall too much.
Favorite part of the course?
Oof, favorite part, probably the back part, and where it's all really tight. It's very interesting. Trying not to hit, especially because there's a wall that really sticks out. So if you hit that wall, you're stuffed.
Good luck to you. Good luck to everybody else. We want some real representation from Singapore today. I think it's going to be tough against those drivers sitting up there in Beijing, but I reckon you guys can really fly the flag for us today. So that I'm confident about.
好的，可以听到我们新加坡的选手的发言，确实是今日的比赛越来越紧张了。好的，非常感谢我们的8位选手，请你们找到您设定的我们的模拟器，按位就坐，谢谢。So please head on down to your designated stations, and we will begin the competition shortly.
Big round of applause for our drivers, everybody. Go ahead and take your places, guys.
除了跟我们北京的朋友连线，还有许多朋友们和我们在一起观看直播。哇，真的有朋友在观看我们，感觉真的是非常非常好呀。So it's a really good feeling, having company right here of our online friends.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, I love the atmosphere here. I love what they're doing. And, I've got a bit of experience of watching motor racing and maybe chatting about it on TV. I know this is something that is fairly new to you, but still very exciting, right?
It is.
Don't worry, because we're in really good hands. We've got someone that we're going to welcome to the stage now who not only knows a lot about this kind of thing, but he's been there and done it, bought, worn, sold the T-shirts. Ladies and gentlemen, former Formula One driver, Alex Young.
Wow, Alex.
Good to be here. Hi, everyone.
Cheryl, Alex and I used to present Formula One on Star Sports for many years, and this guy is just a font of great knowledge. Come and stand in the middle of us here, Alex. What have you been doing with yourself? Since Fox Sports went off the air, we've missed you, bro.
Yes, of course. Lots happened, hasn't it, in the times of COVID, and been doing a lot of this. Sim driving, driving myself, doing competitions, commentating on it. Very excited about tonight. First time we're racing, I think, with some of the best drivers in Southeast Asia against some of the best drivers in China. So that's going to be very exciting to watch. It's been phenomenal the last 3 years, the growth of esports, simulator racing, and the standard here in Asia has just been going up and up and up all the time.
And it's good to hear that you're still doing a bit of driving. But I know you're doing, as you just mentioned, a lot of this simulated driving. I mean, how did you get into it, and how exciting is it for you now?
Well, it's kind of exciting because I got into it in 2019. 2018, we had a competition in Hong Kong, and then we had a competition in Malaysia, on-the-ground competitions. Obviously, when COVID happened, though, it was kind of interesting. There was a silver lining in that it forced us to cancel all our on-the-ground events, and we went online. And the great thing about being online is it really teaches you how to streamline and how to reach out to a lot of other drivers. And you just get introduced to a much wider community when you do it online. And it's been pretty cool because when I first entered this sport in 2018, a lot of people would come up and say to me, hey, can sim drivers be as good as real life drivers? And I was like, yeah, they can, you know, right training, such and such. But after working with a lot of these drivers now, I changed my mind, you know. In many ways, they're a lot better than real life drivers, just purely because of the amount of hours they put in. You know, if you know this more than I do, Steve, you know, to become a world expert at something, you need to put in like 10,000 hours, right? And you just can't do that in the real world. The only way you can get to those sort of numbers is in the sim world. And real life drivers know this. You know, we see a lot of the real life drivers doing this, the ones coming up. I mean, Verstappen is a huge sim fan. He's always on the simulator. Lando Norris, George Russell's doing it now, Alexander Albon. So all the new generation know that to exceed and to excel and to match people like Max Verstappen, they have to put in the 20 hours a week.
What about the physical exertion, though? I mean, I remember you telling me about when you were driving a Formula One car, there was no power steering. It was a real feat of strength. I mean, is that a factor in sim racing as well?
Not so much. I mean, it depends on the wheel. Some of these wheels, you can turn up the force feedback, so it's really tough, and you'll get a sweat. You'll be pouring your sweat. But most of the sim drivers, they won't turn up the force feedback because they want the car to be nice and easy to drive. So yes, so that physical aspect is you cannot generate what's it like to be an F1 car. I mean, we saw in Monza, Nick DeFree, he couldn't even get out of the car, you know?
Yeah.
So, but the sim drivers, you know, especially the sim drivers I work with, they're going to the gym, they're getting fit, they're training, because in any sport you do, if you're not sharp up here, and you're not sharp here, physically, spiritually, mentally, all that, if you don't have the full package, you're not going to win at a world level.
Tell me a little bit about your offspring. Because when I first met Alistair Young, Alex's son, he was maybe about this big. Yeah. And now he's
much bigger,
this big, isn't he? And he's driving as well.
Yeah. So my son is a real-life racer like me. He started karting and stuff. But we both kind of got into sim together in 2018, 2019. I don't do it so much, but does it a lot more now. And, you know, we both started doing it. It was like, oh, you know, it was actually, I got motion sick a lot of the time. I would actually get sick driving. I couldn't drive for more than 1 hour. I'd get motion sick. But I soon saw how important it was because I've learned a lot of lessons over 35 years of racing. Over 35 years of racing, there's a lot of little bits I've learned along the way. I can remember in 99 when I learned this and this. 2004, I learned this. You know, even in 2011, driving around Fuji, which I've driven many, many times, I learned something new. And I found every little lesson I've gone and learned through 35 years, you can replicate on the sim. So that's been kind of cool. So when we do a lot of coaching now, we'll go to a different game now, and I'm going to drive this car. And then we'll get up to speed of this car at this track. And then you see what you're doing here to find that lap time? This applies to the real world. And it applies to the sim world. And you can be quick in the sim world with real life driving, which is very cool. And it means that those sim drivers that drive this way, when they come into the real world, they have no problem.
I remember some of the many discussions we've had about your career and also from the career I can see Alistair having. There's a lot of money involved. It costs a lot of money to get in a car and race around a track. How different is that for these guys? Is it more accessible to be a sim racer?
I can throw this back to you. What is the most important thing to be considered a sport?
Focus?
No, fair play for me. Okay. It needs to be equal. It needs to be equal for everyone. To be a proper sport, you need to see people being able to go against each other in a fair way. Right. And in the real world, you can't, you know, it's very hard to get that. You know, like you get in Formula One, unless you're in a Red Bull or Ferrari, you're not going to win races. In the sim world, everyone can do it, you know? And we got people like playing on their phones with Bluetooth to their laptops, got people using keyboard and mouse, you know? So, but they can enter competitions where they can win. And I love that about sim racing because we get so many new talent coming to the sport. And talent I would never look at normally. And you just see them do something, and you kind of go, you know, that's really good. Okay, how about you do something else? And then they go, wow, you do that really well. That works very well in the real world. So I love that it is cheap and it's cheaper, not 100% cheap, cheaper. To get into the sport. And there's so many, I love meeting these new kids who come along who just show me new ways of doing things. And you wouldn't see these guys if it wasn't for the sim world.
So Alex, we're just waiting to get the nod from somebody near the stage here about when we can hand over to, when everyone's ready in Beijing, when everyone's ready here, and we can get started. But from what you know about how this sport, sim racing, has developed around the region, are you expecting a lot of strength from our guys up there in Beijing?
Yeah, from what I heard, the guys in Beijing are going to be very tough to beat because I think they've been practicing for weeks and weeks. I was talking to some of the drivers here in Singapore. They only started practicing today. So the other thing about sim racing, like other sports, is if you don't put in the hours, it's very hard to compete at a high level. Yeah. It's like you know, tennis. If Federer doesn't practice for a month and he comes and plays at ATP, he's going to get his butt kicked. So it's the same in the sim world. If you don't put in the hours, it's very hard to be strong. So yeah, let's see how Singaporeans do later on.
So how are we doing, guys? Are we close to being able to start? Who am I looking at to try and give us the nod over there? Yeah, we good to go? All right, we are good to go.
All right, so right now I'm just gonna let Steve and Alex get comfortable over at the commentary booth.
Is that for me?
Alrighty, so whilst our gentlemen are getting comfy over at their commentary booth, I'm just gonna perhaps check over at our Beijing correspondent side. 北京的母卡，你们那边怎样？你们的8位选手，阿威就做了吗？准备好了吗？ Alright, so just checking in with them. Oh, they're already racing. They're already racing, or maybe they're doing some trial laps. So they do seem ready. So what about my 8 races in front of me? Are you guys ready to rumble? Fantastic. So on the count of 3, 2, 1, let the race begin.
So I think we come in with good practice.
Well, welcome, Alex Jung, alongside me here. We are getting ready for this fabulous race, one that's going to be run in Beijing and Singapore. And we've talked about there being a lot of talent, a lot of people putting some hours in up there in Beijing. I mean, I know as a real-life racing driver in a car, putting the hours in, putting the laps in, getting as much time on the track is critical. Yeah. Similar in this kind of setup?
Absolutely. You know, it's, you know, in any sport, you know, it's all about repetition. It's about drills, you know, being able to kick the ball the right way or hit the squash ball the right way and be able to repeat it. And that's why the sim racing is so important. You got to do that repetition to try and really get the best out of something. And I think all modern day real life drivers, the guys at the top, you know, the guys I see driving in all sorts of different championships, outside of Formula One even. Let's not forget there are other world championships outside of Formula One. They're all doing sim racing. You know, it's a very important part. And how cool is this that we're going to have, 8 drivers here in Singapore against 8 drivers over there in Beijing, China.
Yeah, truly an international dual sort of venue situation. And look, we've got a lot of things to be upset about in terms of COVID. But, you know, COVID did us 1 or 2 favors in some ways. It helped us develop in certain areas that we perhaps weren't developing at the right pace. And this is a big benefit from that period we had where we couldn't really get out and do real stuff.
I mean, I'm loving being out and seeing everyone around and being part of it. But you're absolutely right. Having the online stuff, that silver lining of COVID, I mean, obviously there's a lot of not good things about it, but the silver lining of having to go online, that was really good because I was hardly online, and it's very important, I think, because that is the direction everyone is going. You know, it's not like we can put the thing back in the box, and we have to live and understand that there is a world online that we have to get used to.
Just taking a look at some of our drivers in Singapore, Alex. Young Dylan, I mean, 13 years old is he?
Yes.
I mean,
I've been
How
watching,
does that work?
I've been watching him for a couple of years now. He's really developed really well, and he's fantastic in real life as well. He's a very, very fast go-karter. He won a very big championship recently, the GT World Challenge Asia, which on ACC is as big as it gets. Only the Global Championship is bigger. So, you know, he's winning against the top sim drivers, certainly in the region, but he's going up very well against the guys at a world standard as well.
I'm sure you've driven around the Singapore track in some kind of a vehicle. How realistic is this? I mean, it looks pretty realistic to me.
Yeah, so we're on the Assetto Corsa game and started qualifying right now, and it looks very realistic. I've not driven this track in this game before, but it looks really good. Talking to the drivers just now, they say it's pretty good, and the car feels very realistic as well. So yeah, look at it going there through onto the back straight now.
For those of you not familiar, that's just going down along by Esplanade, and there's so many sights to see. Sadly, because it's dark, you don't get a good view of them all, but under the lights, you'll get a great impression of what's going on the track, not so much what's sort of happening above it. You can see the Singapore flyer there, which is the driver's signal that they will shortly be making that left turn into the start-finish straight where many of the grandstands are. And that series of turns after the home straight, Alex, can get quite complex, can't it? A big left-hander, a gentle right, and then they do pretty much a 180 after that.
Yeah, that's right. Going through turns 18, 19, and 20, coming towards the end of the track. This bit's changed for this year, isn't it, Steve? I haven't seen it yet. But yeah, then now Dylan's about to start his first actual lap. So let's follow him for a lap, shall we? Goes through the last corner on the lap as he starts the lap. Never mind, we'll go back to Wong Win Poo there. And back to Dylan, going through turns 1, 2, and 3. Got to get a good exit out of 3 because he comes down this medium straight. But this next corner, turn 5, is a very important corner because you've got to get the exit out of there well, because it leads up to this long straight where you're full throttle all the way through this pit, through turn 6 before braking for turn 7. This will be an overtaking spot in the race, so we have to watch out for that. And then now we're on board, now turn 8, watch him carrying that flow. Looks, someone's gone off in front of him. Doesn't look like a very, very attacking lap yet. This looks like a banker lap to me. Dylan going purple in sector 1, so it's the fastest sector 1 so far, but it does look like a banker lap at the moment. Let's go back to Wong Win Poo right now, who's gone quicker in sector 1 as well. But there's a lot of traffic out there, Steve.
We are just over 3 minutes into what will be a 15-minute qualifying session, and we've already seen one casualty there going quite heavily into the wall. There may therefore be a bit of pit activity to perhaps get a new note on that car. 15 minutes of speed to try and register the fastest one lap, and the quicker the lap, the further up the grid you'll be when the race starts.
Well, Wong Win Poo then obviously got his lap ruined there by those cars going off, so he will start another lap and try and go quicker at the moment. He has gone quickest at the moment at 42.1, but that's because he's the first car on track. There will be faster times for sure.
Yeah, the race is one thing, but making sure that you can get one full lap in at top speed with a good number of amateurs on the track who are likely to be all over the place, let me put it kindly that way, it could be very difficult registering a full fast lap, couldn't it?
Absolutely, and that will also have implications in the race as well, the strategy, because you'll be lapping some of the drivers. But and so that will make it very tricky. Trying to get a clear lap right now, even though there's only 16 drivers on track, will be tough.
Yeah, so here's Yin Jiang.
Yep, Yin Jiang there, 4/10 off in sector 1. Let's see if you can find a bit more lap time. Yeah, this is your favorite place to go past the cricket club.
That's right. There's that brilliant money shot, really. The cameras are in the Swiss hotel, and they tilt up. Oh, had to go around somebody who was facing the wrong way. But yeah, that's down by the Esplanade there. So much to see around this gorgeous track.
Oh, he's gone fastest in sector 2. If you look at the bottom, then he's gone purple by a 10th in sector 2. So Yin Jiang there looking like he's on for a faster lap at the moment. Sector 1 wasn't so special. Sector 2 is looking good. If he can keep it clean, maybe this will be enough to go to the top. And look at that, Jason Tay from Singapore. He's fastest of all at the moment. He's just done a 41.4, so that's pretty good lap by him. But let's stay on board right now for Yin Jiang right now. Zheng now going across through the last corner. He should improve a little bit. We're not on board with him, but yes, he goes to P2. But Wang Wenpu there right now has gone fastest of all. He's back in front as we follow now Jason Tay, who's been bundled down to third position.
There'll be an awful lot of relief for the drivers who can register fast laps early on here. They can just then cruise the circuit, get used to it, maybe rest up a little bit for the big race that's coming up. Fully 45 minutes when they are set off and the 5 red lights go out. So getting a fast lap in early will clearly be a priority for all of these drivers here, particularly the pros.
Yes, exactly. It's very serious. The pros are going to be taking this very serious indeed. A lot of money up for grabs, to be honest. Have to say it's excellent when organizers give good prize money for the athletes. But Jason Tay, he's found a bit more time. He's gone green in sector 2, but still not quick enough, I feel. I don't think this will be quick enough to challenge for the front row. So we go away from him now. Another driver just exiting the pit there, Liu Hantong. And yeah, this is the outlap, so not really much happening with this car at the moment. Maybe we'll pick up someone that's on a quick lap.
How important is it to really hug the barriers on this circuit, Alex, to get close and use every inch of the track around these 90-degree corners?
That's a good point, Steve. I mean, you have to go right to the full limit, you know, and maybe they don't want to do it now because there's still a lot of qualifying to go, because if you crash the car and you hit the barrier, crash the car, that puts you out of qualifying. But as the session goes on, you're going to get faster and faster, and you'll start shaving the wall. And, you know, when they're on the really hard lap, these guys are going to be touching the wall just ever so slightly. And that's when you know they'll be doing well.
Well, there's a little bit of excess. Liu Hantong just couldn't make it round that left-hander. And luckily for him, there was a little runoff area for him to drift into, because that's one thing that this circuit is lacking, isn't it? As indeed is the case with all street circuits. If you make a mistake, Alex, it's just not forgiving, is it?
Yeah, that's right. It is not forgiving at all. But yeah, absolutely. And look at that, top 4 all from Beijing right now. So Beijing doing a good job. And they got Jason Tay and Dylan Tan in 5th and 6th. Guys, just don't forget to support your drivers. They're right in front of you. You can actually see them as they do their laps. But Liu there right now, he's still on the outlap. Oh, someone's crashed. That's Dylan Tan, I think.
Dylan seemed to be going backwards there, I think.
Yeah, I think he's going to skate back to the garage if he can.
Currently got the 6th fastest lap, though, so he's in relatively good shape, even if he does have to spend the rest of this session in the pits.
Oh, he's back out right now.
Straight out, so that's good to see. Oh, but there's a spinner right in front of him. Manages to avoid that. The thing about these corners being 90 degrees is, in many respects, they are blind corners. So if someone has a bit of a spill or a twist in front of you, you're not going to see them until the very last second.
That is true, and there's not much you can do. Like coming around here through turn 6, if someone is stuck there, you're just going to go straight into him. Be nice to see if Xiao Han is on a good lap. Well, he's on an outlap at the moment. Wang Wenpu, he's purple at the moment, so he's on a quick lap at the moment, so he should improve. There we go. Purple in sector 1, purple in sector 2. Wow, good lap there, 39.2. He's on pole position at the moment, and at the moment, I don't think anyone's going to get close to that. He's more than a second quicker than the guy in second.
That's about 1.4 seconds quicker than anybody else, Wang Wenpu. So that's a great lap for the card number 23, and he's way out in front. And as you said earlier on, it's 4 Beijing-based drivers who are taking the top 4 spots. Jason Tay in 5th, Dylan Tan in 6th there. And it'll be a battle for everyone else to breach that top 6. These two nose to tail.
Dylan Tan, he's on the outlap still. He doesn't want to let the guy through because he might ruin his lap, so he's doing the right thing and staying out in front. He's got enough time to set a couple laps, so this is him starting his lap, and he's just held up. I think that's Hung Tao behind him, though, so Hung Tao would have lost a little bit of time. Oh, he's got a lot of traffic.
Oh, busy traffic. He's got the car behind him, and then he runs into 2 others. Comes out of it very nicely, Dylan Tan. A lot of skill to get out of that crowd. Potential for a big traffic jam.
Let's see what the sector times are. He'll be coming up to sector 1 at the moment. Is he using the DRS? Yes, he is. Had that traffic though through turn 3 though, so I don't think he's on a good lap, and now he's got lots of traffic. dear. Will he regroup and try and do another lap after this? Because this lap is ruined at the moment, so he's not going to go faster.
And that is why it's so important to get a good lap time in early if you can, because there's just no way of legislating the amount of traffic you're going to get in subsequent laps.
Absolutely. Jason Tay up to P3 there, so the Singaporean up to P3. Good job by that.
And this is the only part of the course, Alex, which is where there's a little bit of elevation, or they're actually going downhill. I mean, I've been around this circuit on a longboard, and this is the only bit where you don't have to put your leg on the floor.
Oh, look at that, just missing the traffic. Wow, cars everywhere.
Skillfully done, I must say.
Oh, and then someone...
Oh, a couple of sliders.
Someone took out Dylan. That is careless.
Rear-ended into the barriers.
Yeah, I don't know who that was. Okay, we're riding on board Jason Tay. This is outlap. Yeah, it's an outlap, so... Everyone trying to get the laps in before the end of qualifying.
Just over 3.5 minutes left of this 15-minute qualifying session. So for those guys who haven't quite got a time in that they were happy with, it is tense times because they've got to find some space, they've got to find some time as well.
All right, it's going to be hard to find space. Josh Perwin down in P11. He shouldn't be there. Talking about world class, this driver is world class. So for him down P11 right now, I don't think he's managed to get a clear lap because I saw him in practice and he was definitely going faster than a 51.9 earlier on.
Anxious times for him. In terms of the pros and the celebrity drivers, if you do end up behind a celebrity driver on the grid, long term, it shouldn't be too difficult to get by them, but it's just staying out of trouble that'll be the issue.
That is the point. There's going to be carnage through the first few corners, and like Josh, if he really does qualify in P11, he's going to find it very hard to get through the first corner without hitting someone.
Riding with Josh there, and you can see in his rear view mirror on that little plate at the top of your screen, so you can just see exactly what's going on. Even if you look in the wing mirrors of these cars, when we're riding with these drivers, you're getting so many wonderful perspectives.
Yep, there he is, backing off at the moment, trying to get a bit of space. Oh, he needs to be careful, otherwise someone might overtake him. Anyway, oh, on Panda TV. He's in P12 at the moment.
We're talking about laps that are around the 100-second mark, and we've got a little over 2 minutes to register those laps now. Am I right, Alex? If you cross the start-finish line before the checkered flag goes down, you've still got time to make that fast lap?
I think so. I don't know what the game settings are. Some games, as soon as it goes down to 0, that's it, qualifying's done.
Right.
Some games allow you to finish that lap. Let's hope it's the one that allows us to finish a lap, because there's been quite a bit of carnage out there. I think there are a lot of drivers out there who have not set a good time due to traffic and people crashing in front of them. So it'd be nice if they could get that lap in before the end of qualifying.
Real world Formula One, you're looking at a 1 hour qualifying period, 3 different sessions. There's a lot more time for the good drivers to come out on top, and there's a spinner.
Darren Lim.
Oh, Wang Wenpu just about managed to come out of that without any harm, but it was a matter of inches as Darren was spinning behind him.
Yeah, that almost went south very quickly, but he's on pole, and I don't think anyone's going to challenge Wenpu at the moment. It's looking very good, isn't he?
White smoke there as he took that right hand up. And this is entering the area in front of the floating stage where Singapore's National Day is so often the venue for that. They go underneath that stadium where Mark Webber crashed into the infrastructure of that stadium on the very first Singapore Grand Prix. That was the very first crash in any session of a Singapore Grand Prix, and they blamed the MRT on it in those days. There was some electrical surge.
It had to be someone's fault.
It was later proved not to be the case, but it sounded like a good story at the time.
Yeah. We're on board right now with car number 318. That's Su Ding Zhuan. Oh, another car's going up in front of him. Wow, it's so hard to get a clean lap. Who's that?
A couple of them went spinning in a duet there.
Yeah, Su there. He started the lap. I don't think he got slowed up by that, and he's actually 1 second up on his lap, so he definitely didn't get slowed down by the cars crashing in front of him.
The clock's gone down to 0, Alex.
Oh, I hope he can complete this lap, though, because this lap's a much better lap for him. And if he can keep it up, maybe he can sneak into the top 5. Ooh, Dylan Tan's gone to P2 while we weren't watching.
Wow, big leap up the charts from 6 to 2 for young Dylan Tan. And that is a fantastic effort, but there we go, facing the wrong way. Spins round nicely, but the recovery isn't going to make any difference there.
Okay.
Because the clock has wound down to 0. And that is your qualifying session over. And Dylan Tan, must say, very impressive with that late surge.
I'm very impressed with Dylan and Jason coming up to 2nd and 4th, because I was talking to them earlier on, and they literally have only been able to practice today. And he's up against some very good drivers in Beijing. So very surprised to see them up there. I did not expect that. I thought there was going to be a Beijing for sure, Beijing drivers in the first 5 positions. But it means that we might have a good race.
I think we will have a good race. Let's just take it down several levels and talk about people that might want to start this. You know, have never done this before, but they're excited by what they're seeing. I mean, I've heard today that it's actually quite difficult to drive in a straight line for 100 meters.
Well, these cars, yes, and this track, yes, very, very tough. But yeah, it's easy to start with. There are a lot of other good games out there. You know, we're driving Assetto Corsa today, which is a great game. But you know, there are a lot of easier games to start with, like Gran Turismo Sport, GTS, or the new one, GT7. Race Room's also a great game. It's free. So you know, those are the good games. Oh, Josh, they're giving us away. And there's Jason Tay in that foreground. He'll be happy with P4.
Jason, are you happy? Give us a thumbs up if you're happy. No, okay, not too sure. Josh, you're not happy at all. Okay, all right.
Josh shouldn't be happy.
All right, we got a thumbs up.
Panda TV
from
there.
Panda.
He's happy. There we go. Dylan Tan there. Big smile.
Happy, Dylan? I'm sure you are with that one, aren't you? 2nd spot? Yeah, good
yeah.
stuff. Excellent. That was a superb recovery. Now, those guys up there in Beijing, and we think that they've put in the hours and really prepared well here, yeah?
Well, that's what I've been told, but and you know, one of them's on pole. You know, Wenpu did a great job there to put it on pole. So I think he's the guy to beat. And then we've got strategy. He's got 45-minute race to come in. So yeah, but as I was saying, yeah, we can see the results there. There you go, Wenpu there on pole by 1.1 seconds. So he found some more time just at the end there. You can read that out.
I'm finding it hard to read. I wonder if someone can come and bring the monitor clicer to our desk. Would that be possible?
Yeah.
Someone could do that? Then it'd be easier for us to read.
Wang
Right up
Xiaochan
nice and close.
there in 3rd, Jason Tay in 4th, Liu Hangtong in 5th, and then Yin Zhang in 6th. Yeah, and then, yeah, they've got quite a few good drivers up there. Xu Ding's one there in 7th.
Jason Tay in 4th there.
Yeah. Darren Lim in 10th there. He made a good improvement there to get
basically, we've got Singaporeans in 2nd, 4th, and 10th. Everyone else in that top 10 in Beijing. And I'm just wondering, we're thinking about, you know, everything's going on virtually in Singapore, but in terms of actually doing the driving, doing the sim driving in 2 different locations. We've got our Singaporean drivers in front of a live crowd here. It's a big venue. There's got to be some nerves involved here. What I'm seeing from the drivers in Beijing is they're all locked in one room. The focus has got to be a little bit easier, hasn't it?
Oh, definitely. I mean, a lot of these guys would prefer to race from home because they're used to their own rigs and stuff. So the guys in Beijing, I don't know if they've been practicing on those rigs a long time, but these guys here in Singapore haven't. And they've got a crowd behind them. So just putting some pressure on you guys to not mess up.
We just saw Joanne. I don't know if we can get that picture of our Singapore drivers again. If we get Joanne back in the picture, we'll ask her to give her...
There
Joanne,
she is.
there she is. Thumbs up or thumbs down, Joanne? How did that go?
Yay, more thumbs up there. Yeah.
Thumbs up, good, we're happy. Everybody seems happy.
Yeah, there
that's
we go.
Fantastic. Really good stuff. Jasper there as well.
Bjorn Alvarez there.
There's the Panda. Everyone looks positive. All right, that was good fun, that first 15 minutes. But, but there was a few spinners.
Upside down. A few of them rolling as well.
What do we know about tyre wear in this situation? Because pit stops are absolutely in the game, aren't they?
Pit stops are in the game. The regulations are very open. Drivers are allowed to do what they want. They've got the C3, C4, and C5. So it's just like real life, the 3 softest compounds in the Formula One calendar. So 45 minutes is not too long. It's kind of like a sprint race. So I wonder if some of them might try and just put the hardest tyre on and just try and go the whole race without a pit stop. I was speaking to Josh earlier on. Maybe that's a strategy he might do. Sorry, Josh, I'm spilling your secrets.
Soft compounds in Singapore, very hot in Singapore. Is that? I mean, is that?
Yeah,
we're going to see high deg.
You do because of the heat. get high thermal drag, so you get a lot of wheel spin in the back, so the rears get overcooked. But not many high energy corners. So the soft tire can work here, but I've been told the faster strategy is to use a softer tire and do a pit stop. So yeah, let's see. Also depends where you qualify. You know, if I qualify at the front, maybe I want to be
Maybe you want to go all the way.
I want to. Well, I want to be the hare, perhaps, not be the turtle.
Right.
And try and go fast and do a pit stop. But you also got to consider that there's going to be traffic out there and not so experienced drivers. So I actually think Josh's strategy of not doing a pit stop and just staying out there might be a good one. It might not be the fastest one on paper, but he'll keep himself out of trouble with having to overtake some of the less experienced drivers.
And we're following Formula One protocols, so that means no refueling. Would you miss that as a spectator?
I liked refueling. It was very dramatic.
Could be fiery.
Yes, very fiery. Hot under the collar for a few of the drivers and mechanics.
We saw quite a famous incident. I think it was perhaps in the third Singapore Grand Prix where Heikki Kovalainen's car caught flame, and he put it out himself. Didn't he?
Yes,
he stepped out, took the fire extinguisher, and started putting the flames out himself, which is a good all-round job, I think, for a driver.
Yeah, and I think they charged him for use of the fire extinguisher, which would be very Singaporean.
Well, exactly. Of course, you must do. What do we see on those steering wheels that we've got there, Alex? Very complicated or quite simple?
Yeah, no, they got the pedals, the buttons there to do the DRS and stuff. They're using SimMagic wheels there. The guys here in Singapore, I think, are using Thrustmaster T300s. But yeah, no, the SimMagic wheels they're using in Beijing, those are, I have those wheels. They're good wheels. A couple of them, they got Moza wheels, which are, I think, Chinese wheels, which work really well, actually. I've not used it, but yeah, there you go.
These guys in Beijing are happy with themselves, aren't they? Was it 7 of the top 10 qualifiers? They've done a good job. You guys have done a great job up there in Beijing. But you've got no live audience. It must be dead easy.
Yeah, but also it doesn't, you know, I would still prefer to drive in front of a live audience.
Yeah, I know, exciting, right?
Yeah, it gets the nerves and
adrenaline.
Maybe, yeah, but it's fun. That's a Thrustmaster T300, I think. There you go.
So you touched on that. Do the drivers get to choose their own steering wheel in this?
So from what I saw in the Beijing studio, I think the drivers have their own steering wheel. So they have their preference there because you have different makes. Here in Singapore, you see everyone's using the T300. So they all have the same wheel. So supplied by the organizer. So if one or two of these drivers drive these wheels back home, then this is perfect. They're driving a wheel they're used to. If not, well, they'll have to get used to it pretty quickly.
How much did you eat and drink before getting into a car for upwards of 2 hours?
Oh, yeah, well, up 2 hour race, you've got to eat and drink as much as you can, but you must take that bathroom break as late as possible.
Yeah.
Otherwise you'll be in trouble. So yeah, but obviously in the sim race, 45-minute race, it shouldn't be that big a problem. But look at that, Jason stroking the Thrustmaster T300 there. And of course, everyone's... I want to be sponsored by them. And of course, the rigs, next level rigs, which are really good rigs. Rigs are basically the seats that hold the wheels and the pedals that the drivers sit in.
Individually adjusted to suit size and shape?
You can, yeah. There's plenty of adjustment in those seats that they can get and do with. So yeah, I'm sure all of them will have adjusted them nicely.
Does look like fun. I'd like to have a go afterwards. You can go and have pizza when we're done, and I'll go and have a go.
Yeah, absolutely. And even though the online racing is great, it's still good to do an event like this because it means everyone has to use the same equipment, you know. And that really makes it more of an even playing field, even more. And you get to see also the added advantage of seeing the drivers drive.
There's the guys in Beijing picking up their mobile phone from time to time, perhaps texting family and friends, let them know how they did in qualifying, and it certainly was a successful session for our Beijing-based drivers. They were in really good shape after those 15 minutes. Only 3 Singaporeans in the top 10, and hopes are high for the youngster.
Yeah, maybe they're following the Formula 1 updates. We've just had free practice 1, haven't we?
Oh, I see.
Free practice 2 is about to start, I think.
So the focus is elsewhere, not just on the track. But we're just about to get going.
Okay, there we go.
Looks like we've got 20 seconds, Alex, until the red lights got out, although they look green now. But if we look at that clock right at the top of your screen there, we're down to 10. It's a 45-minute race, everybody.
Start's going to be crucial here. There we go, red lights.
And we're away. Pole position on the outside of the track is not necessarily the most advantageous place to be. We've got some problems at the back of the grid there, though, Alex. There's a bit of a bump, but right up the front here through turns 1, 2, and 3. Once you get out of those first 3 turns, then the track starts to open up a little bit, but it's going to be congested around those first 3 corners.
Yeah, and Wang Wenpu had a great start off the line, so he's leading at the moment. Dylan Tan slotted into 2nd position. Big battle there. You watch it there going between 3rd and 4th between Jason Tay and who's that? Oh, Jason Tay back up to 3rd, goes around the outside. Who's that going around the outside?
That's Yin Zheng, I think, who went really wide around that left-hander, and it's very, very tight.
Oh, but Jason Tay's on the inside now for this left-hander, and he takes a position back. Oh, but he runs wide, and they're side by side down the back straight.
Side by side as they come here, the inside line probably the best, all the way around that. Coming through past the Singapore Cricket Club, they do a left-hand turn after they go across this bridge and down towards the Esplanade. This is the only part of the track, as I said, that goes ever so slightly downhill. A little bit of pace you can get before this sharp right-hander at the Esplanade that takes them towards the floating stage.
Yeah, we're on board now with Xiao Han right now. Oh, no, back on board with now, watching with Yin Zheng. Sheng there. Oh, sorry, Zhang there. Looking very good up to P3, but that battle with Jason Tay has allowed the front 2 to get away. And look at that, the first 2 have just disappeared out of sight. They're no longer in vision because of that big battle for 3rd position.
Yeah.
So Wenpu and Dylan Tan way out in front.
Yin Cheng's main concerns will be the guys behind him, Jason Tay and Wang Zhaohan. The battle for 3rd looks to be quite intense, but as you say, looking ahead of 3rd place, I mean, you're 4.5 seconds gap between him and Dylan, and then Wang Wenpu up there in 1st place is a 2.5 ahead of Dylan. Actually, Joanne, all right, Joanne's about to be lapped, so they're going to get Joanne's right at the back, and they're going to pass her.
Okay, back at the front though, there at the bottom of your screen, there's a Wang Pu there going through, and now Dylan Tan there in P2. The 13-year-old stalking the leader at the moment, and they're just disappearing away from everyone else.
Showing no fear whatsoever, the 13-year-old from Singapore. Easily recognizable, driving in car number 2.
Wonder what compound tires he's on. It looks like they're on different compound, maybe different strategy between the front 2. Yeah, I think Dylan's on the, see that's yellow sidewall kart tires, so on a different compound. There's a Yin Zheng there on the yellow ones as well. So I think they're on the harder compound at the moment.
Already so early into this race, Alex, and we're dealing with back markers getting lapped, but that's the gulf in class between the pros and the celebrities, who we are so happy to see here. But it's a great comparison to see the people who've done this an awful lot and the people who are trying this perhaps for the first time. Just shows the level of skill involved to succeed at this level.
Yeah. Good battle there anyway between Jason Tay and Yin Zheng just now. But they all seem to be settling down as they come to the end of lap 2.
Wang Wenpu's just put in a 1:41 lap and is 2.5 seconds ahead of Dylan Tan, so even the gap between 1st and 2nd, plenty of daylight there.
Yeah, it's growing. Oops. That's another back marker there. Doing the right thing and just staying right out of the way to allow the guys to come through. There we go. 5th position, there's Wang Xiaohan. And yeah, a bit of a lock up there. You saw a little bit of smoke there. That's him locking up the brake just ever so slightly.
White smoke isn't disastrous news. It's blue smoke that we ought to be worrying about. But yeah, the locking up there probably means it was just overshot.
Yeah. Blue smoke referring to the engine oil.
Yes.
Engine failures. Yeah, I wonder if, I'm not really sure of if we're on, the damage is on full. I think damage is on full because that's why the drivers have been so careful. But I wonder if engine damage is on full. Hopefully not. Hopefully we won't see any retirements today.
Oh, it'd be wonderful if everyone could make it through for the entire 45 minutes. I tend to think we might struggle to see that, though. If all of our drivers here today can make it through the 3/4 of an hour, that'll be good. We've got one little casualty there. Didn't look to be any damage to the car though. The barriers here, given that there's no runoff area, which is highly desired, the barriers here are quite forgiving. They're plastic and filled with water. So there's an element of bounce there. We're not talking about hard concrete walls or anything like that, nothing too dramatic. You can still take quite a shunt though.
Can. Dylan Tan, they're going through turns 1, 2, and 3. They're all spread out quite a bit already. We are 6 minutes in now. Let's see that Jason Tay up to 4th position. He's coming under pressure, isn't he, from the car in 5th position? Yeah, there he is, the blue car in 5th position. He's close enough. He's going to get a bit of DRS. If he can use the DRS as he is, he's closing in on Jason now. Will Jason defend to the inside? He does. Oh, Shohan there tries to go around the outside, not able to do it.
Yeah, more white smoke locking up there, just shows the tension as they try to open up some daylight, even in the dark here.
Yeah, Shohan there in the blue car. He's now got to worry about the car behind him. That's Josh Perwin. Is that Josh? No, that's another driver. Liu Hantong just behind him. So the three of them just, they're getting quite close. Oh, here we go, back marker there. That's going to slow up Jason at the exit. Yeah, that slows him up a lot. And that's good. Oh, look at that contact as well. Oh, whoa, that yellow car there. I'm not sure who that was, but he's taken out a few other cars. Wow, okay.
Xiao Han is really pulling out, trying to find space to overtake, taking a completely different line from Jason Tay on many of these corners, looking for the opportunity, but doesn't quite have the pace.
Yeah, not quite at the moment, but he's going to get DRS. Have to watch it down the start, finish straight, Steve, see if he can get a run on him.
Not many overtaking opportunities on this lap, are there?
No. I mean, this is one here, I guess, down the start, finish straight. No, not close enough at the moment. Jason holds him off for now. But the big one will be down the big straight after turn 5.
So that opportunity is coming. Hard to retain your focus when you can't see cars in front of you, but you know they're lining up behind.
Yeah, but you have to focus. And look at that, the DRS. Zhao Han's got the DRS open again. Replicator
there
before.
It is. Ooh. Can he hold him off?
Nicely done.
Hasn't managed it, I don't think, Alex.
No.
Although here's the right-hander. Oh, it's very tight, almost wheel to wheel. Brilliant driving from Jason Tay under constant pressure, and it hasn't ended yet either.
Oh, they've got him now.
Oh, that's superb. That's a superb effort. Hung with him for several corners there, and then when the moment presented itself, didn't hold back. So Wang moves into 4th. And it is very tight though, between 3rd all the way down to 6th there.
Ooh. Nice dive down the inside. And Liu takes that position back too. So Jason Tay down to 6th position now. I wonder if he's struggling with tire wear. Comes back under the grandstand.
Meanwhile, up ahead of this very exciting group of 4, Wang Wenpu well ahead. Some 11 seconds ahead of Dylan Tan in 2nd, who himself is a long way in front of Yin Zheng. So 1 and 2 driving very well and keeping themselves out of the more exciting times, developing behind them. Jason Tay's got to be a little bit upset though with the way that went down. He seemed to have held off the challenge for several corners.
Yeah, but I think, when you're short of practice though, sometimes you can pull out the lap in qualifying, but you always get exposed in the race. And I think Jason did a great job to get up to P4 in qualifying, but he just doesn't have the pace to stick with the others around him at the moment, and he's just dropping back a bit.
And in that event where you're being challenged perpetually for a period of half a minute or so around a series of corners, so important that you're familiar with the track, that you know what's coming up next, which way the corners are going, whether there's a right-hander or a left-hander, and what the driver's line is.
Yeah, that is true. So the guys in the front, you can see in the first 5 position are running the C3 tire, which I think is a softer tire, with the guys in 5 and 6 are running the C4 tire, which is a harder tire. And wow, Wenpu's just, look at that gap now. He's got 12 seconds in front of Dylan Tan. I wonder if Dylan's made a small mistake somewhere, because he was, I think, 4 seconds, and that 4 seconds ballooned up to 12 seconds quite suddenly.
Laps are getting slower by a couple of seconds since the early laps of this race. So perhaps a little bit of tyre wear. Alex was talking about the heat rather than the track itself, perhaps eating up the tyres.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think, actually, I'm going to take it back. I don't think anyone's going to try and go all the way with one stop. I think some of these guys are going to definitely do one pit stop at some stage. It's still too early to be thinking about a pit stop, though. Maybe in another 5 minutes, though. But Yin Sung here is really closing down the gap to Dylan Tan.
This is coming along the Padang to the left of your screen, and then round this corner in front of the Singapore Cricket Club, with the CBD, Singapore Central Business District, to the right, but the concern there was to the left.
Wow, the spinner there really slowed down Dylan Tan. And now Yin Sung here has really got a run on him. He'll have DRS this next lap as well, so Dylan needs to keep it clean, try and eke out a bit more of a gap.
Right up on his tail as they come into the corners, but once they get a little bit of track in front of them, it's not really a gap that Yin Teng can gobble up. Not at this stage. Needs to get a little bit closer.
He does. Okay, Dylan now coming out of turn 21, 22. Yeah, we've got to stay with this battle right now, because I think Dylan is in real danger of getting overtaken here if he's not careful. Good exit out of turn 22, 23. But yeah, lost a lot of time with that lap. Okay, so this is where Dylan has to be very careful. He has to set it up so he gets a good exit out of 3, which, oh, he gets it sideways.
Oh, we had a little wobble at the front there, didn't he?
Yeah, that's going to cost him. Whoa, so I think some of the KOLs are trying to get out of the way, but they're actually causing more trouble when they try and get out of the way. They've got to stay on the racing line. If they stay on the racing line, the pro drivers can find their way around. Yeah, Yin Sung, they're not close enough on this lap. But it'd be interesting to see if he can just get a little bit closer and maybe try it on the next lap down the long back straight.
Sitting here with Yin Teng, you get a really nice view of Dylan Tan and how he's taking this, the various lines. With a wall there?
Yeah, just a little bit of contact with the wall there. Car looks okay, but look at that. He's lost a lot of time now. Dylan
almost out of sight now.
Yeah, Dylan was saying, thank you very much. Oh, but he's right back on him.
Yin managed to get by a back marker very smoothly, didn't cause him any trouble at all, and he's right back on Dylan's tail.
Yeah. This is the battle for second position. The leader, Wang Wenpu, is just, wow, it's disappeared. 15 seconds now in front of this battle.
Yeah, Wang going tremendously well, so much so that there's not much interest in watching him, because he's just totally smooth around this Marina Bay circuit.
Yeah.
Pretty much faultless. The entertainment at the moment is the battle for second, and you're watching it right here. Yellow flags, I think, Alex.
Oof, yellow flags on. Well, I've seen a lot of yellow flags today so far. Yin Zheng there taking too much curb, though. He has to watch out for that. He's quick enough. He's quick enough to take Dylan, but he just needs to calm down, not make mistakes. You've seen him tag the wall, and then he rode the curb too much there. And see, that's cost him some time, sorry. So he's not close enough to make a move on Dylan this lap. Dylan, though, I think Dylan's got the pace as well. He just needs to be smooth. He's doing a good job just trying to keep the car nice and relaxed.
Just to give you an idea of what's going on further down the grid, Bjorn Alvarez and Joanna seem to be in the pit at the moment. Jasper, good 4 laps behind. Panda TV, 2 laps behind. Then we've got Darren Lim Mushan Bonan and Hu Chao, who are a lap off the pace, and then the top 9 all within a lap of the leader, Wang Wenpu, who is going really well. But this battle for second is enthralling. Meanwhile, Wang Xiaohan will be trying to keep his eye on those two. But,
yeah.
About 4 seconds off the pace, 3.5 seconds behind Yin Zheng.
Yeah, they got to try and get close to that battle for second position, because if they can, you know, when they're battling like that, with Tan and Zheng there, when they're battling like that, they could easily have a moment. And the two guys behind him, Xiaohan and Han Tong, have to try and get a bit closer, because they can maybe take advantage of any scraps the guys in front might have. Ooh, down for turn 1.
Sitting with Liu Hanlong in 5th spot. Just about can see Wang ahead of him. He needs to get closer. Oh, I have to watch that one. Who was actually reversing into his path. That was a treacherous moment, Alex.
Yeah, I think damage is off. I've seen quite a few cars go off and hit the wall and still carry on. So damage is off. That means if these front guys do clout the wall a bit as they try and chase that extra bit of lap time, they should survive it.
It's like bowling a 10-pin bowling ball down the alley with the cushions on the side.
Yeah, exactly.
Love it.
Use the cushions. Yin Zheng, they just not quite close enough. Oh, he'll have DRS right now.
Will he pull out? I don't think so. Running out of space on this straight.
Not close enough. Right. Oh, Dylan's. Oh, touch contact.
Now, to be on the right-hand side, if he could have just tucked alongside him on the right there, that would have been a good spot.
Contact. He's had a couple of nudges on Dylan now.
Nipping at his heels.
Yeah, just pushed Dylan wide there.
Could have done without it, Ying. If he could have just held that spot on the right-hand side and going into the floating stage area, he would have had a nice advantage on the right-hander, although there's a very sharp left that comes after that.
Through the last corners right now to start another lap. Dylan's got a good exit out the last corner. Okay, this is where he needs to be strong. If Tan makes a mistake out of turn 3, Yin Zheng's going to get very close down the back straight. Oh, Tan has a good exit out of turn 3. That's important. Now he needs to have a good turn 5. Goes through turn 5. Yeah, that looks good. Looks really good. So, Yin Zheng there, not close enough. And even though he's got the DRS, he's not going to be close enough by the time they come to turn 7. And Dylan just needs to keep doing that and not make any mistakes, and he should be able to hold off Yin Zheng there.
It's a game of patience, isn't it? I mean, we've got 27 minutes for him to find the right time, an inch closer. Doesn't need to be done in double quick time.
Yeah, and people will be thinking about pit stop soon. Let's see, 26 minutes to go. Fuel will be coming off as well, so the car will start to feel a little bit better. And when you've got heavy fuel, you know, you really burn up your tires quite quickly. So if anyone's struggling with tire wear at this point, this will be when they start thinking about coming in for a pit stop. Of course, if you've done a really good job managing your tires, then you'll want to go to about halfway before you do that pit stop. And halfway would be about 22 and a half minutes to go.
So that's second half of the race on fresh tyres with a lighter fuel load. You'll feel like an entirely new driver, won't you?
Yeah, oh, the car suddenly starts doing things you want. You know, when the car's heavy with fuel load, you really have to massage him into the corners. You can't be too aggressive with the wheel or with the pedals because you'll lock the inside wheel super easy, or you'll get a lot of wheel spin on the exit, which would then even make the tire wear worse. So you really have to massage the car in and be patient. But once the fuel comes off and you get fresh tires, wow, suddenly the car comes alive and you can start being really aggressive. It's a lot more enjoyable to drive.
What do you make of young Dylan? I mean, I think drivers like to see cars drive, you know, moving around these tracks in a very smooth way without any little wiggles or late adjustments.
Yeah. Dylan looks like he's a little bit short of practice, but you know what is good about him is he's not overreaching. He's not panicking and going, all right, I need to drive faster. Oops, although he's got traffic now. That traffic's going to slow him down a lot. Oh, that's going to be a disaster for Dylan. Oh my gosh, this is going to have an influence on this battle for second position for sure.
Oh, and I think they may have touched again on the inside. Dylan cuts into the right. Now this is going to be a big development.
Who was that held him up? That's the guy in ninth position. That's Wang Yuheng there. Oof. I hope he's not playing team tactics. Team tactics wouldn't be very nice. But yeah, they can't come alive now. They should be more enjoyable. But Dylan's got a big problem right now. He's lapping one of the teammates from Yinjiang here right now. And it's really tough because Wang Yueheng is just not getting out of the way at the moment.
Can't seem to get by him at all. Maybe this is the opportunity. Pulls out to the left, but has to tuck back in. Just not enough road to make the move, although this could be the moment.
Wow, still holding him up at this point. Oof, oh my gosh, we don't like to see races end this way. No, he just needs to get out of the way. Let the guys race.
Oh, another touch, Alex. That got rid of him.
But now Yinjiang is definitely close enough. He's got the DRS and should easily be able to sail by Dylan. Dylan's going to have to defend to the inside. Does defend the inside. Yinjiang there goes wide. Oh, and runs wide now.
There was another touch, I think, there, Alex, that actually pushed him wide.
Somehow Dylan hangs on to P2, amazingly.
Some very aggressive driving from Yin.
Wow, this is super close. Dylan Tan there hanging on to P2 with all his life. And look at that, Yinjiang now getting pressure from Wang Xiaohan. Wang Xiaohan there right behind him in P4 in the blue color. It's just filling the mirrors there, Steve. And yeah, so Yinjiang there has to be careful there because he might lose a position to his teammate.
Coming down alongside the Esplanade, there's a right turn coming up, and there's another back marker that they have to deal with.
Oh, three abreast.
Oh, white smoke from both cars. Dylan gets his nose in front.
Wow, four-way battle now. Second, third, fourth, and fifth, as close as you like.
Well, you can't really ask for much more excitement than this on a track notorious for really not allowing us to see a great deal of overtaking.
Oh, but they come for the pit stops. There we go, Dylan Tan, and he's followed in there by Yinjiang there right now. Both of them in for pit stops, tire change. This is the halfway mark.
So they've timed it perfectly. You're absolutely right. Spot on halfway. 45-minute race. We've got just over 22 minutes left. And these 22 minutes will be on new tires, lower fuel.
Interesting. Dylan Tan with a much faster stop. Okay, so this could play into Dylan Tan's favor here. He has not taken fuel. So that is why they were slow. Whereas Yinjiang here right now did not start with a full tank of fuel.
I see, okay.
That's the only reason. He should be out of this pit lane by now. I don't know why he's still... Am I getting this right?
I had heard that there wasn't going to be fueling, but that may not be the case.
I could be wrong because I saw Dylan pass, but maybe Dylan's still in the pit lane. Oops, that's interesting. Oops, whoops, oh no. Well, he survived.
Balance of the car all seems to be wrong
no,
there.
definitely sure. Dylan Tan is definitely out in front. Dylan's had a much faster pit stop. So I don't think, that can only be due to refueling, I think. Because I cannot explain why Yinjiang was in the pit lane for
such so long. Yeah.
So some of the sim drivers are quite clever about this. When refueling is allowed, what they do sometimes is instead of refueling, and it's obviously much nicer to drive the light car, but when you drive the light car, you lose so much time refueling. So I don't think Dylan refueled because he started with a heavy car, which would explain why his pace in the beginning of the race was not very good. As others come in right now, be interesting to see when Wenpu comes in, whether he has to put fuel or not as well.
Oh, the pit lane here at the Marina Bay Circuit's a bit like Orchard Road at the moment.
Yes, a lot of traffic in there as the drivers come in. But Dylan Tan there up to P5 there, up to P4 now, I think. P5, no, P5. Oh, P3. Everyone's pitting now. Only 2 cars have not pitted right now, and that's Wenpu and Jason Tay in first and second position. Everyone else, I think, is pitting now.
You called it spot on, though. Dead on the halfway mark is what everyone seems to have chosen. So Dylan Tan, car number 144, currently in third spot, 16 points off the lead, but crucially about a second and a half, or no more than that, 3 or 4 seconds behind Jason Tay.
Really have to dodge these cars. I have to be careful. Okay, Dylan Tan, he's gone back out. He's on the C3 tire again, so he shouldn't have an issue with tire life to the end of the race. But the big question mark is what's going to happen with Wang Wenpu, who's leading this race. We know when Jason Tay pits, he'll go further back down the order, but where will Wenpu come out after the pit stop? There we are. Here is the leader of the race. Is he going to come and pit? This is coming towards the end of the lap right now. 19 minutes to go. This would be a good time to pit, unless, of course, he's not planning on pitting for the whole race, but his tire wear right now will be getting quite bad.
Yeah, he's going to struggle in the last half of the race if he doesn't take a stop. He's got 13 seconds to play with in terms of his lead there.
Yeah, he's staying out for another lap. So if he does stay all the way up, nah, he can't. I mean, Dylan Tan's only 16 seconds behind with 18 minutes to go. Wenpu would find it very hard to hold on to the end because the new rubber should be giving Dylan Tan at least more than a second a lap.
I thought I saw Wang Wenpu just register a lap of over 2 minutes. I may have misread that on the board, but we're looking at laps of about 103, 104 seconds at the moment. Those will speed up with the new tyres for the majority of these cars. But it'll be interesting to see Wang Wenpu's lap time once he comes by the start-finish straight again. I'll keep an eye on that for you. Remember, hasn't gone in for a pit stop yet, so he may well be slowing down dramatically.
Watching right now, Wang Xiaohan right now, Xiaohan there. This other battle that's been going on the whole race really. Oh, looks, yeah, it makes a move. Han Tong, I think, just let him through right there. That was awfully nice of him.
It's not always a gentlemanly sport, is it? Or a gentlewomanly one either.
Yeah. Okay, they're about to come upon Josh Purwin in the orange McLaren. Remember what we said about Josh? Josh was planning not to stop. And if he's not going to stop, he's going to start holding off these guys. But he's going to find it so hard to keep these quicker cars behind him because
they will end up limping home. 1:42, Wang Wenpu's last lap time. So whatever I saw up there didn't seem to bear too much semblance to the lap times that he's putting in. So that's a good time, 102 seconds or so for this a lap around the Singapore Marina Bay circuit for Wang Wenpu, and his lead, if anything, looks to be getting bigger. 16.1 seconds ahead of Jason Tay in second.
Yeah, he's doing a great job. I mean, Wenpu's really doing a good job. I still think he's going to come in for a pit stop because he's on the C3 tyre, and they must start falling off a cliff very soon. Oh, Dylan Tan there. Oh, he overtakes Jason for P2. I think that was smart by Jason. Jason didn't want to fight with Dylan and end up costing him time. Jason knows his fight's not with Dylan and his fight's with the cars behind him.
It was as clean as you like, that overtaking manoeuvre, wasn't it? As you say, not much of a fight put up.
Yeah, Jason there just weaving down the straight. I'm sure he's thinking about a pit stop. I wonder if he can hear me. Jason, you thinking about a pit stop? No. He says no. You're going to go all the way without a pit stop? Yes. Wow, Jason just confirming he's trying to go all the way without a pit stop, just like Josh Purwin next to him.
Jason
wow.
Currently in the $1,000 mark. Dylan Tan in second place, looking to land a check for 2,000 Singapore dollars. Wang Wenpu would collect 3,000 if he can hold on to first.
And Wenpu's doing great pace. Look at that. Look at this lap time, 43.0 on tires that have not been changed yet. Is a really good lap time. You know what, Steve? Did we miss him coming in for a pit stop at some stage?
It's possible. It's possible because it's hard to see him rattle off these lap times
Yeah.
with old tyres.
I think we must have missed him. He must have come in for a pit stop at some stage. And if that's the case, then everyone is stopped except for Jason Tay and Josh Perwin, who are trying to go all the way with a no-stop strategy. But yeah, Dylan Tan just did a 42 on that last lap, so he is closing down the gap a little bit to Wenpu.
Dylan now 4.5 seconds ahead of Jason. So looking comfortable in second.
Yep.
And here is Wang Wenpu.
This is the battle for 5th position, 4th and 5th. We should try and ride with Xiao Han there because Xiao Han's coming up against Jason Tay. And Jason is going to find it very hard to hold off these two cars. Wow, brave, brave man doing the no-stop strategy.
Brave, is that the word?
I don't know, we'll have to ask him later. Let's see, 13 minutes to go. You know, you want to finish on the top 3 because that's where all the prize money comes from. 4th position is first loser, no prize money for 4th position. So whatever happens, I can guarantee you Jason's going to fight very, very hard. Oh, Dylan Tan up to P3, he's made a mistake. Wow, Dylan Tan up to P3, must have made a mistake just out of shot. And now coming into pressure from Xiao Han.
Yeah, dropped a lot of time in terms of the distance between him and the leader, so he must have had a catastrophic error because he was 4.5 seconds ahead of Jason, who moves into the $2,000 position. But can he hold on? And time has just flown by. How on earth did we get to the final 13 minutes of this race? Look at this battle, it's still on. I think we're going to see entertainment in this position all the way up to the checkered flag.
Xiao Han there dives on the inside of Jason Tay, takes 3rd position.
And you're right what you say, Alex. 4th really is the big loser position, isn't it? Because you're so close to the money, but you don't go home with a cent.
Who's that? Someone else trying to take out Dylan Tan. I don't think he's getting out. Whoa!
Going off track, way off the driver's line, but off track as well, I would suggest. Oh, gone right round the outside. Amazing, and somebody's got clipped.
Who's that? Oh dear, I think was that Jason? Not sure.
Didn't look as if there was enough space to go between the barrier and the car, but 2 of these vehicles made it. The 3rd one couldn't manage it.
I think that might have been Liu Hantong there.
I think you're right.
Oh, but he's still going, Hantong there, still going there in position 5, so managed to get away with a big, big hit of a back marker.
And that just crept up on them. It's the question of you going around a blind corner and there, lying right in front of you sideways, is a great big Formula 1 car. Massive late adjustment required to not make any contact.
Okay, Dylan there, he's broken the DRS. He's got over a second on Xiao Han there. So as long as he doesn't make any mistakes, maybe he can stay out of the DRS zone. For those of you that don't know, DRS stands for the drag reduction system. It means when you're within a second of the car in front, you can activate it, and that tilts the rear wing back, which sheds drag and allows you to overtake because you have a faster straight line speed.
It opens up that rear wing so the air can pass through it more quickly and allowing the car to travel at a faster pace. Normally that closed wing will do a very good job in keeping the car grounded when you go through high-speed corners, Alex.
That's right, you want that wing for the corners, but maybe not so much for the straights. Oh yeah, Dylan seems to have settled down from whatever that mistake was. That ended up costing him, what was it? Costing him, I think, good 8 seconds. Maybe he spun, maybe hit another back marker, but he looks like everything is back and steady now.
Approaching the final 10 minutes of this race, and the action is all about second, third and fourth. There's money for first, second and third, not a single cent for fourth. So it's going to be dramatic stuff Fifth place, Liu Hantong, is a good 10 seconds away from fourth. So really these three drivers, Dylan Tan, Wang Xiaohan and Jason Tay, driving for second and third spot. Nobody wants to finish fourth among those three.
Coming down, turn one again. Love this. This is great corner to spectate as well, isn't it? You can see them coming down the front straight. Sometimes you could see good overtaking action as well. Dylan Tan threads the eye of the needle as he goes through turn 5. Oh, it's so important to get a good exit out there. His best lap is a 42.1. His last lap was a 42.8. So yes, the pace has come back and seems to be right okay right now. In fact, this is a really good lap. He's actually a 10th up on his fastest lap of the whole race. So
yeah.
Tan is obviously finding some pace as the race wears on.
They're certainly no longer bunched as they were a few moments ago. There is plenty of tarmac between second, third and fourth.
And this is our race leader. And Wang Wenpu is doing a really good job right now. He's been faultless, hasn't he?
Yeah, he really has. I mean, the gap between him and the rest of the pack is sizable. He's hardly made any mistakes. And if he has gone in and taken a pit stop, he's done it so seamlessly that we didn't even notice.
Yeah, really, really good job there. Yeah, the only person that can stop him from winning now, I think, is himself. Unless he does something, a pretty sort of catastrophic mistake, he should be able to take this home. And his fastest lap of the race is a 41.2. Wow, that's quick. And now he's doing 42.7s, which is about the same pace as Dylan Tan in second. But yeah, he's been the class of the field right now. Just had pole position, has fastest lap of the race. Just knows what to do with the car. Maybe he knows something with the setup the others don't. Yeah, it's just been too hard to catch.
No need to go crazy, is there? I mean, his last lap, most recent lap, a second and a half down on his fastest lap. He can just reel it in now.
Yeah, take it easy. Well, kinda. He won't, I'm sure. That's the other thing you have to worry about is when you drive these cars, it's very easy to switch off and make a mistake, especially on street tracks. So drivers can never really relax. And it's very dangerous when you relax. Because when you relax, your mind switches off and then you're in the barrier. So that's why it's very important to try and push all the way through the race, because that's often the safest thing to do, because it keeps you focused.
Well, behind our leader, who may be thinking about relaxing, is Dylan Tan. Here he is. And he is 3 seconds or so ahead of Wang in third. So a little bit of a gap. It's been tight at times for Dylan Tan. He's faced some immense pressure on his rear wheels from some other drivers during the course of this contest. But for now, at least, he has a little bit of breathing space and can concentrate on taking these corners efficiently. Not necessarily making a great deal of ground on the leader, but perhaps extending that gap between second and third even more.
That lap was a 43.1, a couple, not as quick as previous laps, but still decent enough. 24 seconds behind the leader now. And here we go, the car in third position, Wang Xiaohan. Oh, Dylan's gone off again. Is that Dylan? No, it's not, it's someone else. I thought that was Dylan that gone off. So, Xiaohan there stays in P3, 27 seconds behind the lead. Yeah, they're all pretty spread out right now. Yin Zhang there in P6 just did a 42.1, so he's the fastest car on the track at the moment. But Yin Zhang had that terrible pit stop that really put him right at the back. And yeah, it's a shame really, because Yin Zhang here, he had the pace to finish on the podium today for sure. Remember that big fight he was having with Dylan Tan just before.
It was an exciting one, wasn't it?
Yeah. Pit stop, yeah.
Well off the pace now though, Yin Zhang in sixth.
Yeah, sixth position. I don't think he's going to get anything from this race. He's in no man's land, isn't he? It's good 6 seconds behind Liu Hantong and and massive 20 seconds or so, 30 seconds in front of Su Jingjian. So yeah, big gaps there.
Alex, just approaching 5 minutes to go now, and it looks as if we've got a settled podium, because the gap between Jason Tay in 4th and Wang is now 11 seconds or so. So that's a big chunk for Jason Tay to make up in the remaining 5 minutes. The only real question now is whether Wang can try and get closer to Dylan Tan and maybe make a Hail Mary attempt to get into second in the dying moments of this race.
He has closed down that gap a little bit, hasn't he? I think Dylan has not been very good in traffic, because whenever we see him in traffic, I mean, you have to be cautious with traffic, but every time we see him in traffic, he seems to have lost a little bit of time. Maybe he's been a bit unlucky, maybe he's just been a bit more careful. But Xiao Han there has definitely closed down that gap a little bit.
Well, he's on pace, Dylan, for a 1:42 lap, which is only slightly slower than his best lap. So he's going well at the moment.
Yeah. When he's got clear air, he pulls out that gap. But whenever he gets a bit of traffic, Xiao Han just closes up with just a little bit.
Going considerably quicker than he did on his last lap, Dylan Tan. So he's putting in that final effort to consolidate his second position and make sure that Wang doesn't get any closer.
Yep. 2 seconds though, only 2 seconds between Tan and Wang. But yeah, no, it's been a very impressive, drive there.
Yeah, still a good 2 seconds. It's only about 7/10, 8/10 off his fastest lap of the day, Dylan Tan, so he's pulling out the stops. And he's going to have to, because Wang is not so far behind.
No.
Inside the final 3 minutes now. Once the checkered flag is waved, then the first person to cross the start-finish line in first place will take the race, and so on. Oh, and there's a big spinner with lots of white smoke there that didn't cause any difficulty for Dylan.
I think we got 2.5 more laps to go. Maybe 1.5. Let's have a look when they cross the line. We need to see where Wenpu is at the end of this lap to know whether it's got 2 more laps or 1 more lap to go. But yeah, we're watching the battle for second and third right now. Dylan Tan from Singapore making the Lion City very proud. Really, really one of the best drivers. Whoa, look at that, just missed that car.
Oh, by inches.
Yeah, but I was just saying, Dylan Tan here, one of the best drivers in Singapore, in the real world and the virtual world. Definitely a talent for the future. So any of you guys watching here tonight with us, come and say hi to him. But yeah, I think that's second and third, like you said, sorted out. We should go back to Wenpu right now and see when he crosses the line.
A superstar in the making. Oh, in the shape of Dylan Tan, he's got another problem to deal with ahead of him. But as you say, it's really all about Wang Wenpu now. Inside the final minute and a half of this race, and he is just a shade under half a minute ahead of the chasing pack. It's been a faultless performance.
I think this is the last lap of the race. Can't be certain because we didn't see when Wenpu crossed the finish line. So possibly this is the last lap of the race. We should try and go back to Wenpu for this last lap because he has been the dominant driver today. Fantastic job.
Yeah, 3 seconds between Dylan Tan and Wang, so it doesn't look as if Wang's going to make any difference. And there's another casualty of war for these drivers to deal with.
Oh, how nervous. You're on the last lap of the race and someone takes you out.
That was close. You don't want the whole race to be ended by contact with the back marker on the last lap.
Who is that? Who just took him out like that? That guy's trying to take him out.
That's crazy. And that must have slowed Dylan down, and it hasn't even overtaken, actually. Not quite.
That car just literally tried to take Dylan Tan out. That is insane.
Stock car racing on the Marina Bay circuit.
Okay, we're going to watch the guy cross the line there. Wen Pu crosses the line to take the win, but
Here
we need to go back to that battle for second position, because that's not over yet. Second position battle, please, Mr. Director. And yes, there we go.
Oh, and another smash into the side of the barriers. Still going though, managed to keep the car pointing the right way.
It's WWE. It looks like a teammate trying to take out Dylan Tan. Oh, how naughty is this? A teammate is trying to take out Dylan Tan to allow Xiao Han there a chance to get some more prize money. Oh, that's really...
Will he survive? They come round the corner for the start-finish straight.
Dylan Tan survives for P2.
Holds on, but my goodness me, there was almost contact there as they crossed the line. It was bumper car stuff on the last lap there, Alex.
Well, absolutely. That's old NASCAR racing.
Dirty racing.
Dirty racing going there. A teammate's trying to take out another driver to benefit that
Let's hope they don't come to blows.
Well, I don't think it's illegal. I haven't seen a regulation book out there, so maybe it's allowed. But yes, I think I'm personally I'm glad that Dylan Tan held on the second there, because he was the rightful driver there. He'd been quick all day. Good to see him get there P2 with Wang Xiaohan there P3.
Formidable drive from Wang Wenpu. We didn't see a great deal of him because, frankly, he was so far ahead of the rest of the drivers for most of the contest that the great action was happening behind him. But that just underscores how faultless he was for the entire 45 minutes. A super drive. And up there in Beijing, I'm sure he's having a great time. The champagne, virtual or otherwise, will surely be flowing at some stage. There they are. Up there in Beijing. It looks like they all had a lot of fun.
Be nice to see Wen Pu there jumping around. Would be nice to see him jumping around and celebrating, because they would...
There he is, though, in the foreground, with a fan there cooling him down.
But yeah, looks like the host is going to ask him.
Looks like we're going to have a word with our winner as well.
Fantastic job.
我首先，这不是客套话，我要首先感谢我的队友们。8对8，没有这些队友的辅助，没有他们的掩护，我不可能拿到这个冠军，这是首要的。同时也感谢所有支持我比赛的单方也好，然后这些要，但是最后要说就是在排位赛过程当中，车阵比较复杂，大家圈速有一定差异。我趁第5圈的大概9分钟的时候，找到了一个干净窗口，做出了一个39.6的合适圈速，随后又找到接下来一圈又进一步提升到39.2，就此跌停了杆位。随后在起步之后，虽然一上来有点波折，就是在对手紧追我的情况下，但随后在第2圈出4号弯的对手一个打滑，拉开了与我的差距，就此奠定了这场比赛整体的一个走势。
其实我可以理解为，这场比赛不仅仅是要你的实力超群，在策略方面大家也有所侧重。只有一个好的策略和一个优秀的团队的配合，才能获得比赛，对不对？
是的。那个在进站窗口的时候，我的队友及时向我汇报了我的身后最大竞争手 Dylan Tan 他进站了。我决定，因为我的圈速优势对他有一定的优势在长距离上面，所以我决定先晚于他1圈进站，这样拉开与他身后的差距。果不其然，在进站后，我和他的差距从原来的15秒拉开到了20秒，这个 overcut 的效果还是很明显的。他出站以后应该是受制于慢车了。
是我看到了现场有各种不同层级的朋友们都在比赛，每个人的状况都不一样。在这样的情况下，其实车队队友之间的配合非常重要。今天感谢 E2C 车队给我们带来这么精彩的比赛。那么现在镜头给到我们的新加坡那边，采访一下我们的亚军车手吧。
Boom, boom. Ladies and gentlemen, what a race that was. Superb entertainment, wasn't it? You can see the results on the big screen there. Your winner, a faultless performance. You just heard from him, Wong Wen-poo. In second spot, Dylan Tan, and Wang up there in Beijing in third. And I think we can have a prize presentation for our Singapore-based driver here, Dylan. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, only 13 years old, and we've got two very special guests who are going to make that prize presentation. One of them, Cheryl, is...
I would like to invite Mr. Melvin Yong, a member of Parliament for Radin Mas SMC, to present this award alongside...
Alex Young, our former Formula One driver. Alex, do come up and accompany Mr. Young and present this award to our young superstar who did a great job today. Found himself in a great deal of trouble with all those back markers, was put under a great deal of pressure from other drivers who were looking to usurp his position in second. Ladies and gentlemen, a really big, healthy and appreciative round of applause for Dylan Tan.
Well done, well done.
And our VIPs who are going to...
I think while we wait for our VIPs, maybe we can check with Dylan. How are you feeling?
Actually, I feel happy because I got P2, but definitely could have been better.
Yeah, so is it Daddy over there in the white shirt? Is it your dad? He looks super, super proud. Dad, are you proud of Dylan and the accomplishments he made today? Fantastic.
Could have been better, you say, but there was a lot of pressure behind you, a lot of people pushing you and bumping you, trying to get your spot. Did you feel threatened?
I think I did feel a little bit pressured because there were a lot of back markers and I didn't want to lose my place also. But good job to the person who won the race. He had really good pace also.
Actually, you didn't really get a good look at him. He was so far ahead, wasn't he? Must have been a very smooth drive from him in first spot. Anything you can learn from perhaps watching this race back again and seeing how he maneuvered his way around the course?
I think just be more smoother like him. I think he's smooth very fast.
Fantastic stuff. Perhaps that's what we can anticipate in our next year's show. So as we see, we have our award presenters right now on standby. So yes, we'd like to take this opportunity to invite both our award presenters for our second place prize right here for our Sim Racing Carnival 2022. Firstly, I would like to invite up on stage Mr. Melvin Yong, a member of Parliament for Radin Mas SMC. And next up, we would like to invite Alex Young to present the prize.
A young 13-year-old with a great future, and let's hope that $2,000 will set him on his way. Ladies and gentlemen, fantastic performance. Congratulations indeed to Dylan, and many thanks to our VIPs for presenting that check to our runner-up in the race today. And I think all that remains is for us to say thank you very much for those of you in attendance. Hope you enjoyed the action. I certainly did. It was fantastic, wasn't it?
Yes, so all of our players, please do stick around, as later on we will be doing a group photo to commemorate and immortalize this amazing Sim Race Carnival 2022.
There's food, there's drink. That's 2022 wrapped up. We'll see you next year for 2023. Bye-bye, everybody. Thanks very much.
下面到了我们 Sim Racing Carnival 2022赛季的颁奖环节，我们北京站区中非常荣幸的拿到了冠军和季军，下面给我们的冠军以及季军颁奖。首先有请 E2C 车队的车队经理黄畅为我们的季军王霄汉颁奖。那么接下来邀请我们的 E2C 车队的老板给我们的冠军王万普颁奖，恭喜！来，大家一起合照。非常棒的一场比赛啊！各位车手表现也非常出色，而且为我们车队的整个策略感觉非常的骄傲，因为你们的策略带动了我们整个团队的进步。那么以上就是我们北京现场了，现在转换到新加坡现场。
Train. I'm never backing down, never taking no bow, can't stop me now.